Hello everyone, this is my Sans moveset. This took like a week to make. Most of the moves took like a day each. This, oh my gosh, they don't even look that great. It's just making them look good enough. That was the whole struggle with this. And I really liked how it came out, and that's why I'm making this video. Typically, I wouldn't share my custom movesets on Battleground games, because I made someone Jujutsu Shenanigans. Then I moved here after seeing a video showing that, wow, Jump Showdown's skill builder is crazy. So yeah, I decided to make Sans because my friend said, wow, you can make Sans real easy in this game. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. So I will. And I did. So I'll just get straight to the showcase. There's a lot of parts to some moves, so I'm going to have to explain that, but if you're fine with waiting a little bit, then here we go. Also, do y'all fuck with the Sans Valkyrie? Anyways, the first move is Gaster Blasters, of course. So basically, you summon two quote-unquote blasters, because I don't think you can add models yet. So, unfortunately, I could only use the VFX to recreate the Gaster Blasters. But here they are. You summon them both, and then after a short period of time, you fire them, shooting a large beam forward that gradually gets stronger as it goes on, and has an explosion at the end of it. The Gaster Blaster's damage depends on how close and how far you are. So if you were up close, you would take minimal damage and high knockback. If you were at medium, you would take low damage and a rollback, basically. And at full range, within the explosion, you would take the max amount of damage the move can deal, and you roll back a little. Obviously, you're not combo starting with any of these variants, except for one scenario, being the chance that you manage to guard break somebody with it. Because this move is fully blockable until 2 seconds pass. If you're standing in the beam and still blocking for around a second or two, you get launched into the air and then you slam back down on the ground. And if you're too close, Sans can follow up with any of his moves that hit grounded. And not only that, the guard break variant deals max damage, meaning the variant where you have to hit at the very end of the blaster, yeah, that just instantly goes to you. So you'll be taking, let's just say you'll be taking around as much as the average Jump Showdown character can deal. Moving on, we have the air variant of Gaster Blasters, which if you watched the little short I made at the beginning of the video, I used a ton, even though it got me messed up a ton of times. This is because this is basically a reskin of Gojo's Red from his sweep, his aerial variant. But the difference being this one has almost 9 times the hitbox and comes out much slower and isn't as free controllable as Red is, being that Red can be controlled 360 at all times, while the Gaster Blasters are not able to be moved after a period of time. Later, while making my first skill on the first day of trying to make this moveset, I found out you can add finishers. So I decided, you know what? I should try it. And this is what I came up with. So I'll mute for this part, and look at this. Now, if you want to know what just happened there, basically, I used Reagan's Salt Punch finisher, and I decided to use it as like a still frame, basically, where I make Sans move, and it makes it look like the opponent is stopped in time or whatever. So, basically, Sans monologues or whatever, and then, you know, he summons a blaster, clicks him away, walks away, aura farms, and then teleports back to where he was. This is Unethical Judgment. This one's a little ambitious, but as you can see right here, it's some sort of bone shoot out of the ground in front of him. Yeah, it's hard to explain, I don't know, it's self-explanatory, honestly. Basically, he summons that, he stabs the opponent through the chest with it. If it lands, it's a grab. If it does land, he tosses them back with telekinesis, and then turns their soul blue, which stuns them in place for a couple seconds, 3 or 4 or so. Now, the reason it does this is 1, it makes it a true combo extender that you cannot evasive out of, and 2 is to follow up with his Gaster Blaster. So, for example, if he did his 2 and then he wanted to use Gaster Blaster and wanted to hit the sweet spot, which does more damage than a forward dash, M1s, and all that, then he could just walk backwards a little and then shoot it, and then bam. That's like an easy 25 damage. However, not only does it send back and you can walk up and forward dash it and combo extend just like that, there's also a double tap variant where if you tap it again, he does a bone barrage after a couple steps, and, well, it's just Anubis's barrage but far ranged, so you can see how that goes. This move also has a space variant. Note, it's a space variant, not a jump variant or air variant. You can only do this while you're moving space. And this was the original concept for the skill, but I decided to move it because I didn't know how to make it back then. Then I figured out how I could, and I just, you know, made it. It's a long-range bone wave, basically, and it goes really far. But this move is exactly like accelerators, except 1, it guard breaks, and 2, the hitbox is way slimmer, so you're gonna have a way harder time landing, even though it's supposed to be a neutral tool. Don't know the thought process behind that, but oh well. This move also has a finisher for when you do the bone throw after the skill, so I'll just show that right now. Now that's very obviously Jin Mori's cutscene, you know, but like changed up a little. See, the issue with the skill builder is that you cannot turn off visual effects if you want the cutscenes, because the cutscenes require the visual effects. So basically, I could not get rid of the visual effects and the sound effects. They had to stay. So what was supposed to be him using telekinesis and slamming them all over the place looked really odd due to the inclusion of the sound effects and the blue trails on his feet and the, you know. This is Gravity Verdict, a pretty simple move. It's basically just Gojo's blue, but if it had more range and it's activated a cutscene when you landed it. So when you land it, you pull someone in successfully. 99% of the time, you probably saw it bug in the fight. I don't know if I kept that in, but most of the time it will enter a scenario where you toss the opponent around at the timing of QTEs, and, you know, that's that. This is obviously Kratos' father-son bonding move, just visuals completely different, you know, and the way you started is different. And just like that move, the damages change depending on who hits more QTEs, who misses more QTEs, all that special stuff. Since this is like his most simple move in his entire kit, there's a finisher, of course. Why wouldn't there be? This was pretty easy to make, so why not? The only issue was trying to make the visuals look great, but yeah. However, getting the finisher to work properly was a challenge because I did not know how to make it not look janky, but this was as least janky as I could possibly get it, so enjoy. Now, yeah, I already know you're gonna say, Sans never did that, and I don't think he can do that, but like, one, it looks cool, and two, it was the only way I could figure out how to do this finisher without it looking horribly awful because of the animation teleports. So if you couldn't tell, this finisher obviously stems from Gojo's one finisher, where he like kicks them to the side, teleports above, shoots them with red, and then like rides on their body. Basically, it uses that as a base, but ends with, you know, him using some sort of energy that is the same color as his bad time eye. I only kept this finisher because it looked really nice when I did that, and I'm like, you know what, who cares if it's uncanon? Chara isn't canon in the slightest in this game anyway, so like, who cares? So yeah, it looked cool, and I kept it. I liked it. Now, the move I've been spamming and not talking about is called Miss, which is basically Sans' counter. What this does is, it's basically just a get out of jail free card. So if they hit your counter, you dash away from them, you stun each other, and reset back to neutral. So basically, it does nothing. You just dodge and go back. Now, as you can see, the icon below for miss is changing, where if you get hit while landing the counter, it says missed and says they need lower HP, because this move doesn't deal any damage or anything. It's completely an execute. So I'll get to that later, but for now I want to talk about this move. Now, Shortcut is a utility ability, which is basically, you know, a short teleport forwards, and it can help with stuff like iframing certain abilities, even though it has very few iframes, but you know, it's just a utility tool mostly. This skill has a grab hitbox if you teleport through them, where they chuck them behind themselves and onto the ground, which ragdolls for a long time, so you can combo with basically any of your moves that hit grounded. It'll make sense later why he has this, but for now, let's get to the spare execute. Now, this is basically just a finisher, but I'm gonna talk over it because it takes way too long, and I'm also going to put the script I wrote for him if you could hear him talking here, because, you know, it's kind of awkward with how they're just staring at each other, you know. Originally, I was gonna make him have like a talk animation that he shows, but like, you know. But basically, it's just a reference to his spare from the genocide route, you know. Except instead of like hugging the player or something similar along the lines, the person is still trying to attack him, so they're like, you know, they're not actually being genuine. So he just finishes the job. And yeah, that's basically it for the moveset for now, because I still have to finish the Awakening abilities, and I haven't started those yet, because to make these already took me a week, and the update is literally tomorrow. The Jump Showdown update is literally on the 12th, and the reason I'm making this video is because I don't know if my skills are still going to be here, because for all I know, maybe the whole skill builder thing just gets a reset and then I'm back to square one or something. So, oh well. I just wanted to make this video to showcase my little thing I made in my free time, because I like this. I liked how it turned out. And I just want to keep it as more than a memory, more like a memoir. Just to, you know, remember this cool thing I made. Thanks to Jump Showdown's incredible skill builder. It does have issues, but those can be ironed out in future updates, you know. But for now, I'll show you guys the best combo I can find for him for now. And yeah, I'll explain why he has shortcut after it's done. So, as you can see, comboing into like my entire moveset only did like 50 damage. And if you think that's like fine, I just want to make it clear that every other character in this game has at least a 70% combo. So, the design philosophy behind Sans, in a sense, is that he thrives off landing, you know, off winning neutral. If he wins neutral, then he gets to attack you. But it's not going to be that damaging, so it's like, you know, he just slowly wears you out during the battle. Which is kind of ironic, because that is exactly how you win his battle. You know, I think it's kind of clever, but I don't know if it's balanced. So Sans only has 2 guard breaks, technically 3 if you want to count close range gravity verdict. Shouldn't count that, but oh well. And all of his projectiles have pretty long startups and are kinda hard to actually, you know, land. So to compensate, that's why he has shortcut, you know, as like another tool he can use to get in and get out very easily with like no struggles. Also, I'm probably gonna swap the positions of miss and shortcut, because shortcut is more of a move and miss is more of a utility. So like, I don't know, it's confusing. But I'm gonna move on to the 1v1s I had with my friend, who was Chara, and yeah, you guys get to see what that looked like. It was really fun. Sans is actually pretty fun to play as, and I know there's a way to like share skills. I don't know how to do that. I think you have to like get the ID or something. I'll paste it in the description if people really want it. I don't know if they'll still be here next update, but you know, by the time this video comes out and I wake up tomorrow and I get home and I play the update and my moves are still there, if they're still there, then yeah, I'll share the moves in the description in the future. But until then, let's get to the battles.
Since when were you the one in control? Getting tired.